Lightweight bout, Bobby Green back in action against Jared Gordon. Plus 230 for Jared Gordon, minus 230 for Bobby Green. Over under 2.5 rounds, minus 250 for the over, plus 250 for the under. Bobby Green, very seasoned, 29-14-1. Jared Gordon, 19-6. Both guys in their mid-30s. Bobby Green, obviously coming off a couple of losses to Drew Dober and Islam Makhachev. Jared Gordon coming off the loss to Paddy Pimblett, which a lot of people didn't think he lost. So he's coming in as a sizable underdog again. So maybe there's a little bit that you can take from that Paddy Pimblett fight. Maybe you look at that and say Paddy Pimblett isn't that good, or maybe you look at it and say, okay, Jared Gordon can hang with one of the better guys and possibly win that fight. So personally, I don't think Paddy Pimblett is that good. So I'm gonna go with Bobby Green in this one. I think Bobby Green, this is probably a stand-up fight. I don't think Jared Gordon really is going to look to take him down that much. Bobby Green has solid takedown defense as it is, 72% in his career, which is solid. It's not like anything crazy, but he pushes a pace with that volume. And I think if it's a stand-up battle, Bobby Green's just going to be able to put the pace on him and land some solid shots. Jared Gordon doesn't have big knockout power. He cracked Paddy Pimblett with a couple left hands. He just doesn't have a lot of finishing power under his belt. So it's probably a 15-minute fight. Bobby Green is going to get the better of the exchanges and put the pace on him, rack up the volume, and get a dub probably by decision. Because Jared Green's got a decent chin. He's been knocked out a couple times, but Bobby Green, we all know, is not a big, massive puncher. So I'll take him by decision. What do you got?
Yeah, I honestly think this is all Bobby Green here. And I think people are going to fall into that trap of seeing Jared Gordon as plus 210 after arguably beating Paddy Pimblett. But at the same time, you look at Paddy's style compared to Bobby Green, and he can't hold a candle to Bobby Green's defensive striking. Bobby Green's head movement, I know he got knocked out by Drew Dober, but let's be real, Drew Dober and Jared Gordon are on different levels. And Jared Gordon did crack Paddy a few times, but it's with that overhand right. And if Bobby Green's getting caught with overhand rights at this stage in his career, after being such a good and slick boxer, maybe he's lost a step and it's time to think about hanging him up. But Jared Gordon's got one path to victory, and he's got to get the wrestling going, and he's got to do what he did to Paddy and hope the judges give it to him this time around. However, Bobby Green's got good wrestling too. So I think that's kind of going to offset it, and it's going to keep this thing on the feet. And if it's on the feet the whole 15 minutes, this is just Bobby Green doing what he does with the jab, tripling up on the jabs and just piecing guys up. I don't think he necessarily knocks Jared Gordon out. I think this thing goes to a decision. But I think Bobby Green's going to land a ridiculous amount of significant strikes. Jared Gordon might catch Bobby a few times with, a decent shot here or there, but the volume alone on the feet is just going to be overwhelming for Gordon, in my opinion. So you see that though, plus 210, and you're like, man, that's a great spot. Coming off of a fight that he should have got his hand raised against one of the guys with the biggest hype in the UFC. But this is another spot where, Bobby Green's over minus 200 right now, and I think rightfully so. I think he gets a pretty easy win here.
Yeah, he standed and struck with Rafael Fiziev.
Yeah.
Almost 40 more significant strikes. Granted, he lost. He doubled up Thiago Moises. Granted, he lost, but he's putting up some good striking performance against solid competition, and he's coming off 2 losses. So you're probably getting a better price on him, even at minus 230. Jared Gordon doesn't have any notable wins in the UFC, and I just can't really get behind. Plus 230 is tempting. Of course, it's going to look tempting, especially after being in that spotlight. But like you said, it's probably a cruise to a decision for Bobby Green.